Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deargan. Alongside me, as always, is the one, the only lore master himself, Josh Finney.
The increasingly agitated lore master. For those keeping track at home, Josh's crusade against the API is continuing. 8 weeks. We are 2 months into the season, and I still cannot read lore books anywhere but in-game.
That's so weird.
Explicitly
man.
Where they are located. It's really annoying, and I'm surprised that more people aren't up in arms about this, but I think that also goes to prove like a point that I was making last week about the scene that we got with our Guardian, Savathun, Ikora, and Aramis. Or Eris. But their names sound alike, okay? I mean, they can both use stasis. It really like drives home that point of like 90% of the people probably aren't reading the lore books.
Yeah.
This should be much more agitating to people, especially because like we got the final lore piece this week for the main book. Go listen to the radio message in the helm, and you get the final piece, and it's actually like really, really, really well done. I wouldn't say I would call it like essential lore for right now, but I think it's an essential setup piece, and it's, again, like it kind of toes that line of something I really wish that we could see in game, and I hope we see it as a flashback at some point.
Yeah.
But it's also one that I'd really like to read because I think it shows us so much about the character of Saint and Imaru. Like, this whole season has been a fascinating character study on Imaru and Ghosts as a whole, I think. But we can't sit here and convey half of it because I got to sit there and take fucking pictures off my big screen TV to try and read the lore right now, since I can't just pull it up on my computer. It's getting to a point where it's not just a nuisance, like it's actively annoying now. Like it's actually detrimental.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Grimoire situation, but reversed. Now I can only read it in game. What the fuck, guys? Come on. Like, you used to be so good about the API, and I understand you don't want things to leak, but I think the model that they had the last couple seasons where, okay, we go a week or two and then we unblock it was actually working really well. I don't know if like other things had to take priority this season, but even if it is, like, just could you throw me a bone somewhere and talk about that? Because it's just, and I understand this is a problem that does not affect a lot of people. As long as the API is working for things like DIM and for loadouts, then like no one's going to complain.
Yeah.
It's us fucking nerds who are complaining about this.
Yeah. Us nerds.
Us who are trying to do fucking podcasts, guys. We're trying to talk about the lore. Okay, I'm not Bife. I understand that. Yeah. So it's y'all gotta find a way for us to have this sooner. I could understand, like, again, if we were blocked off for like a week or two, I could understand, just because, you want people to go experience the story.
Yeah.
But when we're 2 months into the season, it's pretty, like, unacceptable. This is going to be a real big problem if Final Shape comes out and they're still doing this.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have an expansion, you're going to have, like, how are episodes? Am I going to have to wait, like, 4 months for episode lore to post?
Right.
Like, these are actual questions that I'm having to ponder now.
Yeah.
So, like, again, it's cool. You guys gave me all the weapon ones, and that's what baffles me the most is you gave me the weapon ones and like the ships and stuff that you wouldn't earn until deep into the season, but I can't get lore that we kind of need for context around the whole season. This book is actually really contextual, and it's really important. Like, it's everybody's reactions to us plotting to raise Savathun and about Eris's plan. It's so many of the main principles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's showing that even people like Mithrax are interacting with the deck of Whispers. Like, it's literally a tarot card deck.
Yeah.
So things like that are just, I want to explore the context of that, and I'm gonna have to go through this week and just take a bunch of pictures and label them as albums on my computer. Of course, I know the second I do this, they're gonna unlock the API. So
yeah, as soon as you hit save on the last folder, it'll be like, oh look, it's all ready to go.
I know. I check every couple days, and it hasn't. The API hasn't had an update in a month.
Yeah,
we're 5 days off from it being updated last a month ago. So, and that was just a nothing update too. That was absolutely nothing. It was like the master versions of weapons, I think.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a complainy rant to start off tonight, but that's okay because we have not a beefy TWAB, but we've got some things to talk about in the TWAB. We have a lot of
TWAB.
listener questions. We have probably about 15 or 16 minimum.
They heard our cry. We only had like 2 last week.
Yeah, I know. Well, so I did figure out, I'm pretty sure that like when we use the tag everybody function in Discord, as long as I do it outside of the thread, everybody does see it. I think when you tag everyone, it only is people who have interacted with the thread.
Okay.
It's very weird, but like instantly it was just like flooded. So like we not only got them all in that thread, we got a bunch in the actual podcast channel too.
Yeah.
So kind of a lot of setup for where we're going with the last third of this season and in the next season and the future.
Jesus, hopefully 24 comments in the thread by itself.
So some of those are us like fucking around.
Yeah.
So
still, Jesus.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. Hopefully I'm going to have show and tell next week. My Vexcalibur plaque is currently on the way from UPS. I'm very excited to see that. I will get to probably show it, and then I'll have to put it away because I'm pretty sure it's a Christmas present from me to me.
Christmas present from me to me.
Yes, I only ordered this back in like March.
It's fair.
March or April, whenever you could order it. I'm really stoked about it, though. Planning to put it right back there, right under my shelf.
Nice.
Man, Corey, it's been a busy week.
Yeah,
it's been a busy week. It's going to keep getting busier. Hopefully we're getting to the point where like the year is about to slow up. But we do another show here, and that show is going to kind of reach like its crescendo of news for the year within hopefully the next 24 hours.
Yeah, man. I'm really tired of talking about that too.
The long-awaited Activision Blizzard deal is finally, and trading has halted as of tonight.
Yeah,
trading is halted for Activision Blizzard shares, so that is hopefully coming to an end. They very bizarrely, Bobby Kotick had James Corden in to do a panel with.
I saw that
an all hands meeting, and like, okay, well,
of all people, he's the one.
He is in fact the one. But hey, they confirmed that Guitar Hero is seemingly not dead. So, which of the Call of Duty studios is going to be making Guitar Hero is the question.
Oh, God.
Probably Treyarch.
I was going to say Treyarch, but I think people think the Treyarch games are like the best.
That's big weirdo energy to me. But seemingly, like Call of Duty has games planned out through 2027.
Jesus Christ!
I'm not thrilled. You can listen to me in a week and a half cry about 5 future Call of Duty games already being planned. We got that. Next week is Spider-Man 2. We will be doing this show while I am pre-installing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
very excited for that. Super Mario Brothers Wonder comes out the same day, and the Sonic Superstars.
Jesus Christ, dude!
So it's a very busy gaming week for Corey and I next week.
Oh my gosh, dude! Two of my favorite nostalgic franchises, and then Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's like good installments for all 3 too. Like, when's the last time we could say that all 3 had good games? Like,
right
at the same time.
Yeah. Well,
maybe
I'm
never.
I'm a little hesitant to say that Sonic's going to be good.
I mean, if nothing else, Sonic Frontiers was good, so I'll count that.
Yeah. The 2D games are usually pretty decent.
Yeah, it's kind of like copying that new Super Mario Brothers look too, which I'm really stoked about with Sonic. Like, the people that I heard that got to play it were like, this feels like a true Sonic the Hedgehog 5. And that is the most exciting thing that I could possibly hear.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I forgot Sonic 4 came out. Those 2 episodes of Sonic the Hedgehog 4.
Sonic the Hedgehog 4, not a bad game. Truly not a horrible game.
Yeah.
Granted, my standards for Sonic games kind of dropped off the cliff in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Considering the only good Sonic game I can truly remember, like, from the time I was 8 forward, is Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah. I like 1 also, but...
Well, I was too young. When 1 came out, it was a Dreamcast exclusive. I was like 6 and did not have access to a Dreamcast, whereas I bought Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for my GameCube the day it came out.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. For an 8-year-old who was like falling in love with video games at the time, video games beyond like Pokemon and Star Wars adaptations, City Escape changed me forever.
Yeah.
So I still have the physical CD of the Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack somewhere in my apartment. I might have to find that for show and tell in the future.
Yeah.
It's one of the few physical CDs I still own. I think I have like that. I have a Majora's Mask one somewhere.
Nice.
I definitely have a Wind Waker one.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of physical, did you see that Best Buy is probably going to stop selling physical media next year?
I actually got really mad about this because my timeline was a combination of people going, "Oh, thank God! Like it's time. Everything's going all digital," and people like me who really like to get physical media screaming.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of moved off of games as like physical media, with the exception of Switch games.
Yeah.
Just because Chelsea and I both have Switches, so we share them.
Yeah.
But if the recent strikes and price hikes on subscription services have not taught you anything, this is a problem.
Right.
There are so many things that are getting delisted left and right. You can sit here and say like, well, I don't care about that. I don't care about who cares about any of this. They will eventually come for stuff that you like.
Yeah.
Like it's already a problem that Disney's kind of reversing this a little bit, but it was a problem for a very long time where you couldn't get any of the MCU or Star Wars shows on physical media.
Yeah.
You still can't buy the final season of Clone Wars.
Oh,
that is an absolutely wild phrase to say. You cannot buy the final season of Clone Wars physically.
That's so crazy. Why?
Even the Netflix episodes are available, but not that one. I guess they hate free money. I don't know.
Man.
Even if it was just like a premium release through like Disney's website, like I would buy. Like I have the steelbooks for Mando season 1 and 2 on order.
Nice.
And I'm probably going to pick up WandaVision. I could give less of a fuck about Loki.
Yeah, I didn't care for Loki. I haven't even started watching the second season yet. I don't know.
I really fell off TV hard this year, as it pertains to subscription services. I watched 2 episodes of Secret Invasion, I think. Haven't watched Ahsoka. Haven't started Loki.
Yeah, I need to watch the rest of Ahsoka. I'm on the last 2 episodes, I think.
It's hard for me to focus on TV, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I've gotten to the point where like I have to be doing something at like all times.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I usually if I'm watching something, I'll have something on the other screen.
My complaint about streaming shows is like, and I promise we're about to talk about Destiny. My problem with streaming shows is very similar to the problem that people have with the seasonal format in video games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, just not enough happens in these seasons. Like, oh, we have like three meaningful weeks out of like 8.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of that's the point that I'm at with a lot of these shows. Like, yeah, I'm enjoying them. I'm having fun. But like Mando especially kind of felt that way this past season. As much as I still enjoy Mando, and a lot of that's because like Pedro Pascal's delivery is so good.
Yeah.
And I genuinely think that they come up with pretty fun action scenes in that series. Like it's still good. Like that's still like good Star Wars to me. And
yeah.
I'm sure Ahsoka is too. I enjoyed Kenobi and all that, but there also just comes a point where we talk about this all the time. It's so hard to pick and choose what media you want to keep up with.
Yeah. All those Star Wars things are supposed to combine into a movie at some point, right? That's like a plan.
The whole like section of the universe, like the Mandoverse, is supposed to eventually lead into Dave Filoni's movie.
Yeah, which would be what? Mandalorian,
Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and it's presumed Skeleton Crew.
I thought Skeleton Crew was a kid's show.
Skeleton Crew is basically Goonies in space. But Jude Law is the lead.
I've never seen the Goonies, so I can't tell you.
Corey, you've never seen Goonies?
No.
You're an 80s kid, and you've never seen the Goonies.
I am not an 80s kid. I was born in 86.
It still counts. You're an 80s kid.
I don't want to be.
How have you never seen the Goonies, Corey?
I don't know.
I'm so disappointed right now. God, of course, were you the one who admitted to me that you've never seen Back to the Future?
Yeah.
Guys, we may have an opening for a co-host and producer on this show.
I'm just saying, man. This
is breaking my heart. Back to the Future is like one of my 10 favorite movies ever made. You
could name. I bet if whatever you started naming, I would if you started naming media like TV shows and movies and stuff from then, there's definitely way more that I haven't watched than I have watched.
I mean, that's fair. I personally, I don't care for a lot of like 80s movies. They got to be like late 80s. It's got to be like Die Hard.
Oh yeah, Die Hard's awesome.
Like I love 80s action movies. Like Die Hard and Blade Runner are great.
Yeah.
But like Princess Bride, not big on it.
I've never seen that either, so
I watched it once because a girl that I really liked in high school was obsessed with it.
Oh.
And I have never seen more than about 5 minutes of that movie.
Hmm.
I attempted multiple times to watch that movie. I could not tell you anything that happens in it. Not a single. I know Andre the Giant is in it. That's what I know about that movie.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. That's my review of The Princess Bride. Andre the Giant was in it, and I don't remember anything outside of like 2 scenes. One of them because it got memed to death. So, anyways, with what I'm sure is destroying some of the older folks who listen to this show.
Yeah, sorry everybody.
Yeah, so sorry if I ruined any '80s children's childhoods tonight by telling you that I just could not give a flying fuck about The Princess Bride.
The fact that I just said I haven't seen like hardly any '80s movies.
The fact that Corey hasn't seen Back to the Future is probably worse.
Yeah, I haven't seen Alien. Haven't seen.
God, Corey, just stop talking.
What other '80s movies?
Have you seen Predator?
Nope. What else you got for me there, Josh?
I don't even know at this point. All right, let's stop. We've got a TWAB here. We do have some Destiny. Besides Corey breaking my heart, we have some Destiny here.
No, you'll be fine.
To whom it may concern. That's horrible. Who wrote this? I shouldn't be surprised. Festival of the Lost is coming back.
Yeah, Festival of the Cost.
Festival of the Cost coming back on Tuesday. Yay! I am actually really stoked for the changes. Festival of the Lost seems to be like the one event that they keep changing for the better, like each year. And it seems like they put all their energy into making this one good and everything else just like kind of shitty. Really stoked about this though. Legend Haunted Sectors are coming in. So let's talk about this. Eerie Engrams. A new type of engram for 2023. Eerie engrams have 2 uses. Players can crack them open individually for some treats or use them as currencies for hocus focusing.
Hocus focusing. Wow.
They have a chance to drop upon the completion of Haunted Sectors. Legend Haunted Sectors will have a higher chance of dropping Eerie engrams. Evil Levante has seen what Rahul has been offering this season with exotic focusing and has decided she'll offer her own spooky twist on the mechanic. During Festival of the Lost, Evil will also offer players opportunities to acquire exotic armor with 4 focusing categories, in addition to the legendary weapon Eerie Engram focusing. So the 5 kinds you can get are weapons, including festival weapons for a higher candy cost, exotic arms, legs, helmets, and chests. The cost for these, for the exotics, are going to be 1 engram and 2,500 candy.
Ooh.
And then 1 randomized Festival of the Lost weapon is an engram and 500 candy. 1 specific weapon is 1 engram, 1,000 candy. Special notes about the focusing. Players must own the expansion that the exotic armor is tied to in order for it to be eligible to drop from Hocus Focusing. So basically, you gotta, Forsaken, Onward. You gotta own those. Required expansions for each exotic armor piece are listed in the TWAB. We're not going to read all of that. Players will not. Here's the big one. It's been a source of annoyance of the low drop rates in the Legend Lost sectors, and trying to time when a Vex Strike Force is going to show up unless you have Discord bot, which we do. Shout out Nerd for setting that up for us.
Nerd.
Players will not need to have acquired the exotic armor previously for it to be eligible to drop from Hocus Focusing. This is a great time to go work on alternate characters. I personally will be trying to get a lot of exotic armor to drop from my Warlock. This means players who are still missing exotic armor will have a chance to earn it from Hocus Focusing. Players will only receive exotic armor for the class they are currently playing while interacting with Focusing.
Hocus
the
Focusing
weapons. The weapons can drop. Horror Story, which is the primary auto rifle. Jurassic Green pulse rifle. The Macabre sniper rifle. And brand new this year, the Heavy A Cosmic grenade launcher. Worth noting, Braytech Werewolf not on the menu this year.
Right.
I don't know if that is an oversight or if it really is not coming back. That would be surprising. That would be the first of the special holiday weapons to not make a return. At some point, though, I guess you got to phase things out if you want people to be able to have a good chance at getting the new weapon. Like,
Yeah.
4 is probably okay for a 3-week event, I would think.
Yeah.
But I think at that point, also, you should just like add that permanently to the loot pool to be able to be crafted.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it fills a nice niche. A lot of people really like that. Still, it still fucks up in the Crucible. So, and then there's just enormous lists. Every single exotic you can get, along with the expansions you need. It is worth noting that I'm looking through this very quickly. I think you can get up through. It looks like you can get up through Witch Queen. I do not think you can get Lightfall's exotics out of this. Yeah, it does not appear. It does not appear you can get the Lightfall exotics. You can get everything up through Witch Queen, though.
That makes sense, I think.
Which is a little weird. The biggest thing that they're adding here, though, and I'm a huge fan of this. I was talking with this about this with Joasis and Johnny earlier in a chat. Mementos are being added to Festival of the Lost.
Ooh.
I really love this. It is a black leather styled memento. I am a huge fan of this.
That tells you what Josh is into, everybody.
Yeah, black leather. I love black leather. That's right. You heard it here first. Just like usual, this memento is a random drop that will come in the form of an eerie Ingram. It won't begin immediately, but we're sure you'll triumph over any challenges that may be between you and looking snazzy as heck, or at least snazzy as your loadout. This kind of highlights a problem that I still have with mementos. First off, this is the first new memento we've gotten in over a year, which is absurd. I really was excited when they talked about mementos leading into the Witch Queen, and then we haven't gotten them for like 18 months. We got a Nightfall one, and we got Nightfall, we got Gambit, and we got Trials. Those are the 3 that we got. And they haven't done any since. I think that these holiday events are a perfect opportunity to put one in. I also am a pretty firm believer that Master Dungeons and Master Raids should have one tied to them. You already do 2 or 3 shaders for these. Why not remove one of the shaders and do a memento instead?
Right.
I personally would rather have the memento as a bragging right, but also the fact you can only carry 1 is really, really bothersome. I understand limiting it to 1 for something like going flawless in trials or for grandmasters, because like that's a point to brag about. For a seasonal thing like this, I think you should be able to hold like, I'm not going to say like, oh, let me hold like 5 or 10 of them. I'm going to say like, let me hold like 3. Like, let me hold 3, because by the time this rolls around next year, if this one's even brought back next year, mind you, you're looking at, I don't know, probably a minimum of like 30, 35 weapons that'll be craftable between now and then.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to tell me I can only use this 1 time? That's kind of fucked up. So I imagine a lot of us will be slapping these on any weapon that we can over the course of the festival, on a lot of our most used ones. Still, cool idea. Sounds like kind of poor implementation. I just think that's got to be addressed at some point. If you're going to start doing this, cool, just let us stack like 3 of the holiday event ones at a time.
Yeah.
That would be the line I would draw there. Like anything that's like a repeatable activity year round, there's no reason why we should have to stack more than 1. But with these, yeah, it kind of feels like it should be.
Yeah.
And there's inevitably going to be people who are like, oh, why couldn't we just get this as a shader instead, as a permanent unlock? Like, because that's all anybody would ever use. A beautiful PvP Strike Team update.
Ooh.
There's not a lot here. It's more the stuff that is the stuff that's coming is a little bit more exciting to me. We have an update on Checkmate, on matchmaking, spawning, and then some stuff for next season. So Checkmate, adaptive hand cannons will 3-tap at any resilience. Rapid fire pulses will 3 burst at 6 resilience. High impact pulses will 2 burst at 4 resilience with all critical hits. And then reduced heavy ammo spawn frequency. We already know about a lot of this, though. Checkmate is going to keep being in Crucible Labs for the remainder of the season, with Control and Survival coming back for round 2 later on. That's good, because I did not enjoy the version of Checkmate that I played this week. Or last week, I guess I should say. I played it last week. I think it was Checkmate's. It might have been Survival. I don't know if it was Survival or Supremacy. It was not fun. I did not have a good time with it. I'll put it that way. But I think Checkmate Control would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I'm really hoping to get in there and play some of it. Just, God, please don't overlap with Spider-Man 2. And then matchmaking with the mid-season patch, we're compressing the skill band for matchmaking in Control. Think of it as reducing the number of divisions in the skill band. The result is there are more players in each remaining division, and therefore more players to match up with. Quicker times while matchmaking, and continuing to recognize differences in skill level. So, cool. Spawning. We got a bunch of spawn updates. I feel like we knew about this also. We're looking specifically to address issues on Altar of Flame and Cauldron. We don't expect to fix every issue, but if we succeed in resolving some of the more frustrating cases, we can apply those lessons to other cases and maps. Cool. Just, again, they're doing exactly what they told us they were going to do. They're telling us before they go implementing things.
Yeah.
And then next season, this is where I'm excited. I'm excited about all of this. Coming next season, season 23, Crucible playlist reorganization, including a 3v3 rotator node. I think I just heard A1 Johnny jump and scream from here. Competitive Crucible changes, including competitive weapon focusing, rank adjustment updates, and 3v3 countdown rush. Really interested to see how that one plays out and what the new weapon will be for comp. Because if you're going to do weapon focusing, you're going to have to introduce another weapon or two.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest one for most of us, Trials flawed card rewards for win streaks less than 7.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, kind of going back to the way they used to do things, where like you got a guaranteed reward at like 3 and 5 wins.
Yeah.
It feels like we're probably going to go back to that, but like you can like lose your way to it also at the same time. Like, well, as long as you win 3 wins on your current card.
Yeah.
And then more checkmate nodes, including Dominion and 3v3 Clash, otherwise known as Skirmish. So it really seems checkmate's going to be the big modifier, I think, for like the next, I don't know, 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
So we get some of these Iron Banner modes rotating in.
Yeah.
It really feels like that's going to be the big one that they iterate. And it's because we requested it for so long. People have been asking for that since the dawn of Destiny, I think. For a mode that focuses strictly on gameplay and not as much on abilities. Like, you still have the abilities, but good luck. And then, here we go. The last big thing of the week. In loving-ish memory of the Craftening.
RIP.
R.I.P. Oh, boy. You Guardians were massive troopers while our team worked hard to get everything back into working order, and we're stoked to see the creativity many of you had when experimenting with this new world of possibilities. And who knows, maybe that week will inspire some fun shenanigans in the future. For the immediate future, however, we wanted to commemorate this wacky time in pure Bungie fashion with an emblem. Everyone who played between September 15th and September 21st will receive the emblem when it's ready to go in Season 23. And they have a sneak peek of it. I think this is a pretty cool looking emblem. It's perfectly goofy.
Yeah,
in typical Bungie fashion.
Is that a question mark?
Know. Because of you never knew what you were going to get when you were trying to craft it.
Right, yeah, but that's funny that they implemented a question mark into this.
Yeah, I think it's great. You zoom in on it, you can see some of the funny ones. Like there's an AR body with a shotgun head, and I think there's another one where it's it's an auto rifle with a glaive. Yeah, on there.
Give it to me. Give that to me. I will take that.
Talk to Joasis about how that goes. So that's pretty cool. We do have one last note here. I'd be remiss if we didn't discuss this. Again, something that's been requested for years finally is coming in Season 23.
Sparrow Racing League.
No, but it is relating to sparrows. Always on time is a beloved sparrow for a few reasons, but the primary one is its speed. There are so many other amazing vehicles to cruise around the galaxy in. So do you choose aesthetic or efficiency? Why not both? Beginning in Season 23, we're making that need for speed universal across all sparrows. After all, you can't fight crime if you ain't cute, and that absolutely applies to our handy-dandy modes of transportation too. So every single sparrow is now going to get the slight boost that Always on Time had.
Yes.
Which is great. I saw people in the Discord saying mini sparrow for life.
Yes.
I personally will be using the bumper boat that we got this year during Solstice.
Yeah.
That's my current one right now. So I really hope there's something where we have to race out of an exploding ship, similar to Lightfall's campaign, so that I'm using my little bumper boat to get out.
I've been using the go-kart for a while. So
yeah, the go-kart never hit the same for me. Unfortunately, I'm glad I got it, but it just never hit the same.
yeah, I'm a fan of the tiny sparrows, though. All of them.
The tiny sparrows are a lot of fun. So that's it. It's a real short TWAB. I feel like we're going to have a few short ones for the next couple of weeks until we start ramping up for the next season. It's just short, sweet, and to the point right now.
Short, sweet, to the point.
Short, sweet, to the point. But Corey, you know what's not short and sweet?
The questions.
The absurd amount of questions that we have here.
Yes. Bring them on. Give it to me.
Oh, boy.
Give it to me.
Oh, boy. All right. I'm going to figure out where we're going to start here.
Should we start with the ones outside the thread just because then we can...
Yeah, I'm trying to even find a starting point. All right. Let's do it. All right. Illustrated Dio writes in, do you guys think we will see warlords of old from the Dark Ages roaming around within the Traveler and face off against them in the final shape, similar to reuniting with Cade 6? Some of the suggestions that Dio gave us, Eris Morn's Fire Team, or actual time-killing machine Saint 14, or even the Speaker. I don't think we're going to face off against other Guardians. I think to program that into PvE is really challenging.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, we're fighting Hive Guardians, and that was a way to use the light powers. I don't think that we're gonna fight Guardians just because trying to fight with those abilities is going to be quite the difficulty curve for the average player, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I could almost see them using one form of a hunter, one form of a titan, and one form of a warlock in some sort of Taken style art. Not necessarily Taken, but you know what I mean.
I could. And here's the problem with I don't want to rain on anybody's parade. I do want to call back to what Bungie said in the Final Shape reveal, that the journey through the Pale Heart is really a representation of our Guardian's journey through Destiny. And that's part of the reason why Cade 6 is back. So it makes sense for Cade to be there. As for Ariana's Eris's fired.
You all right there, Josh?
Ariana is part of the fire team, but Ariana, Aramis, Eris, they all sound the same. Eris's fire team is a little bit of a more tricky situation. We do interact with Toland a lot in the game. It's worth noting.
Yeah.
Omar Aga is literally powering Xenophage.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we would really interact with them because they aren't specifically a part. I could see us seeing a manifestation of Toland. I want to be really clear. Toland, I could see. Yeah. But I think Toland would almost be more of a temptation for us to overcome.
Yeah.
Because Toland went in pursuit of knowledge, and that's why he floats around the Ascendant Plane now, essentially.
Yeah.
The Speaker would make a lot of sense. I would love to see if they got Bill Nighy back for this.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing, and that'd be such a well-kept secret. That would make sense to me for the Speaker to be there. But at the same time, I also feel like we've moved beyond the need for the original Speaker to come back.
Yeah.
The Speaker, to me, at least as he existed through Destiny 2's launch, is a relic of a time where they didn't know what they were doing with Destiny.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't welcome it back, but I think that if anything, we're getting a new Speaker out of this. I've long speculated I think it's going to be Crow by the end.
Yeah.
Crow is the only other Guardian that has explicitly seen visions from the Traveler besides us that we know of.
Yeah.
The Speaker only ever heard the Traveler speak in his dying moments. So it would be possible for us to see them. Because I think anybody who has died a permanent death and was of the light is a contender to be in here.
You know what I would really like to see, and I know that it's probably not going to happen, but I think it would be cool to see all of the Iron Lords together.
Yeah, and I mean, like, so
Even we didn't interact with any of them.
I would say that would be a little more feasible, even if it's like post Final Shape content.
Yeah.
I think that would be more feasible because we did have the story arc of Rise of Iron where we are made an Iron Lord.
Mm-hmm.
With Eris's fire team in particular, I kind of poo-poo that idea because we helped her overcome the visions of her fire team those were her nightmares in Shadowkeep.
Yeah.
And we've helped her overcome that. We've helped Zavala overcome his guilt over Sophia. Mm-hmm. We've helped Crow overcome his traumas. We've helped, Kaido overcome Gaul, etc. I think Gaul might actually be the most interesting one that we could potentially see in there.
Yeah.
Because so much of Destiny 2 doesn't happen. Like, the entire plotline we're on, it probably happens eventually, but it doesn't happen as quickly as it does without Gaul.
Yeah.
Because we forget the Traveler reawakening and killing Gaul was the whole thing that woke the Pyramid Fleet.
Yeah.
That alerted the Witness to where they were.
Right.
So I think there's the possibility that anybody who's died of the light or while they had a ghost or something who has died a final death very well could be in there. Mm-hmm. But I think it becomes too much of a gimmick if you do it beyond Cade and like Gaul and the Speaker are probably the only three I could imagine.
Yeah.
So put your Amanda Holiday theories away, everyone. She ain't going to be in there. She hasn't died while being a light bearer. Yeah. Hasn't died a final death, we should say.
Yeah.
And I think with Cade, it just symbolically, it makes too much sense that he's the one to lead us on the journey. If it was just that we needed a guide, I could understand like, oh, the Speaker. Yeah. But Cade really was like the guardian who guided us for so much of the early years of Destiny. The breakout character was Nathan Fillion, like, so that's kind of my thing. I don't want to poo-poo too much on this idea, but I think that as long as it's used sparingly, it could be really cool.
Yeah.
I think seeing like vestiges, maybe we can't interact with them, but like we see things play out from the past, because this is going to be a full-blown destination. We're going to keep going in there for a while.
Yeah.
It's possible that over time the Traveler gives us new visions, and I think that could be pretty cool. Like we know that the first episode is going to be about the Vex. Like, what if the Vex are trying to time shenanigans again, and it gives us visions of the past of the warlords. Of maybe we see Shax's past finally.
Yeah.
Like things like that, I think could be really cool if we use the Pale Heart as a jumping off point for some of those hand drawn cutscenes.
Yeah, for sure.
That could be pretty cool. But beyond that, like I think we need to see what the destination looks like first, and like how back is Cade really is the next question. Mm-hmm. So and of course, the answers to that can vary wildly. Given what happened to Lance, maybe they changed the entire plan regarding Cade. Who knows?
Yeah.
Cade's Ace in the Hole asks, what do you think is the most ridiculous Catalyst grind? I'm currently trying to get as many completed as possible with no light level increase the past few seasons. Joe, I want to talk some shit. You are talking some shit to me. I'm going to sling some shit back at you. Bet you he says Necrochasm. I'm actually not going to say Necrochasm. They have already made changes to Necrochasm. I'm actually completely okay with it. You're being forced to do the raid an ungodly amount of times, I think. But at the same time, if you were guaranteeing like 4 oversouls every week, I think that kind of cheapens it.
Yeah.
So for example, we were doing it last week, and Johnny actually got the jackpot one. Ooh. Where he got the whole weapon and the catalyst completed.
Whoa.
Yeah. And we've heard that's it's going to be a rare thing. If that wasn't a possibility, the jackpot thing wasn't a possibility, I would probably I still have a problem with how many oversouls you have to get for the catalyst. I do still think that's a problem.
Yeah, that seems like a big problem still.
I think it's a problem. I don't think it's a big problem when we think about some of the other catalysts in the past. Polaris Lance immediately comes to mind. We had to get the 1,500 kills on the 5th bullet.
Yeah, that was awful, man.
I've never even attempted it. I've never even started. I will not do it. I do not care about any gun enough to do that.
I mean, Polaris Lance isn't even like...
Polaris Lance fucks, don't get me wrong. It's just there's a limit to what I'm willing to put myself through.
Yeah.
That's like the definition of something you have to go sit in lost sectors and do, I feel. Leviathan's Breath, I remember it being pretty bad. Apparently it's gotten a lot better because now you can go into Dares of Eternity and get the unlimited heavy.
Yeah.
But before, again, that was pretty bad. You had like 6 shots. And if you didn't do it the very first season you could when the Wrathborn enemies were around, then you were really screwed. That one is on my list. Ariana's Vow is on my list. That has and always will be one of the worst catalysts because that's when you had to do the 400 playlist activities, but there were no boosters. This was the very first season they gave us a season pass exotic. There were no boosters, and you had to have it equipped on all of these things too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just one of those passive ones where, oh, you can get credit just from like doing them and have the exotic quest and this and that. Nope. You had to actually have it in, not even on your person. You had to have it equipped to get progress on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That to me is that and Polaris Lance are probably the 2 worst. Leviathan's Breath is probably in 3rd for me. Necrochasm doesn't even make my top 4 or 5, frankly.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's because of the changes they've already implemented. If they hadn't implemented the changes and it was still totally random, then I would have a bigger problem. But that's one of those, like, as much as I want to get the catalyst for it, I will be happy just getting the actual gun.
Yeah.
Getting the actual gun probably involves no less than, I mean, unless your luck is extraordinary, no less than probably about 7 or 8 full runs.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think that's perfectly fine to get a raid exotic, by the way, too. I'd rather have that as a guarantee at that point.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you work on the catalyst over time. It's just once you've gotten like all your red borders, it's going to be like, God, I'm just running this to get oversouls for the catalyst. Like, that's the definition of something I will do on weeks when it's farmable in the future, and I have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So, and you always have the chance for the full thing to drop regardless, which is cool. So no, not Necrochasm. Joe does go on later on in the thread to say that that he's never a fan of any of the season pass catalysts. I totally agree. Ziltax wrote in and says their vote is for Lawrence Driver. That it was a trudge without they're all trudges without the season pass booster, but it's worse when it's a heavy or it's a special one, and you only have so many bullets.
Right.
I'll say at least with Lori, that was a special.
Yeah.
So you could still get like 20 bullets for it. With things like Leviathan's Breath, good luck. Like, these are things you have to go and do in stupid Dares of Eternity. Like, there's a reason why I have 6 or 7 of these exotic catalyst quests just built up in my inventory.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to do it. I don't fucking care. And Nadiki brought up Whisper was pretty bad. You had to get 300 precision kills specifically. That's also like, that's bad only because it's a heavy.
Yeah.
Same with Darcy. Darcy's pretty bad. Polaris is absolutely, but Polaris is the worst.
Yeah, I would agree with you on all those, to be honest.
It's just
a lot of them I just didn't even try. Just because.
I'm not going to sit here and torture myself for it.
Yeah.
The ones that you can get over time by just like playing the game and using the weapon are the ones I like the most.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense. You're using the weapon.
Right.
Not having to chase a specific goal and like tank your team in a lot of instances.
Yeah. Get like, 400 crucible kills, like precision kills, and like what is it like? Some of them are just ridiculous.
Yeah, I always see people complain about, I hate that we have to go do stuff in PvP. Well, you know what? PvP mains hate that they have to come do, shit like the Necrochasm stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Like, we all got stuff we don't enjoy. World Jukebox writes in.
World Jukebox, welcome home, buddy.
After the final shape Bungie finally drops last-gen consoles, each Guardian gets a customizable space in the tower or helm, ability to display your seals, and then purchase artwork or items from Eververse. Thoughts? Do not give them the idea to purchase shit from Eververse. I'm done. There should not be a single thing purchasable from Eververse if it goes into a Guardian space. Not a single goddamn thing.
This should be like raid trophies and
Yes.
things that you earn in game, like
I want to be able to put stuff in like you could in the Ice Hut on Europa.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. You should
brother. As soon as we get this, I'm taking Tanix's head back. Tanix's head is being hung up in my room above my bed.
It's mounted. It's going to be mounted.
I want to do that. I want to have weapon racks. I want a copy of the relic in my Guardian apartment, so I don't have to run to Mars to craft. That is still the dumbest thing that I can't do that on the helm.
I feel like at least in the helm, there should be like one of those portals to that room at least.
At least, but you know. Yeah, no, we've said for a long time that we'd like this. We'd like to have like a little Sparrow garage, maybe like a hangar where we can view like 2 or 3 of our ships that are on display.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a shelf for all my ghost shells. I want to be able to put like 10 ghost shells on a shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Let my ghost shells be my Funko Pops. I wouldn't mind getting. I think anything that you can put in there has to be something that can be earnable in game.
Mm-hmm.
There should never be a real world purchase tied to it.
Yeah.
The only exception I would make is for the collector's editions. Maybe you get like an in-game replica of whatever the item was.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really cool. I think I should be the artwork. Like, I think for like each raid and dungeon, you should unlock a couple pieces of concept art that you can like choose to hang up in there, or like set as a load screen or something like that. Like take a page out of Fortnite's book.
Yeah.
But the option to buy something to put in a Guardian apartment absolutely nauseates me at the thought. This game is already nickel and diming us enough. We don't need another option. Right. And I understand, well, if you don't want to buy it, just don't buy it. No, it's the fact that the option is even there and things are already nickel and dime so much in Destiny.
Yeah.
We don't need more of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd love to see stuff tied to like completing campaigns on regular, on Legend, completing raids on regular and on Master, you know, seasonal. Let me display my seasonal artifacts in there.
Mm-hmm.
I want my Splicer Gauntlet by my bed. Ziltax writes in and asks, do you think Xivu Arath is hiding on Tora Bottle? Like a double R reason to go there, and a fortified war planet seems like a logical choice. If not, where do you think she will have retreated to? Tora Bottle is basically destroyed at this point, by the way. Tora Bottle essentially doesn't exist. She kind of turned it into a war moon. I don't think she's on Tora Bottle.
Yeah.
It's too on the nose. Like she is in Seoul somewhere.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me if she was hiding out on the Dreadnought, frankly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to kind of say. Like, it's still there. It's still hanging out there. Like,
it's still hanging out there. It's just been chilling.
Mm-hmm.
And when Osiris was tracking Xivu Arath originally at the beginning of Season of the Hunt, one of the places he went to was the Dreadnought.
Mm-hmm.
He was led there. I think that would be probably the most reasonable place for her to be if she still is in Seoul, which... Mm-hmm. I mean, I imagine she has to be. She was leading the assault on the throne world, for God's sake.
Right.
I don't think has the capacity to flee right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But either her or Savathun has taken over that Dreadnought.
Yeah.
One of them is taking that Dreadnought for themselves.
Whoever survives that war is taking the Dreadnought.
Find out in episode 3 next year.
Right.
Yeah, so that's where I think that's happening. Oh God, now we can go into the actual thread.
The threads.
Sam, Lord of Bananas, writes in, with Spider-Man 2 in plain sight, who is your favorite Spider-Man villain?
Oh God. Favorite Spider... I can tell you who my son's is.
Who's your son's?
My son's favorite is Rhino.
That's a choice.
Yeah. I mean, he's watching that Spidey and His Amazing Friends cartoon on Disney Plus.
That's fair.
Also,
That's fair.
He's 2.5. So
I've got a couple. I've got a couple here. So first off, and I have to say like a specific incarnation of this particular character. I loved the Hobgoblin growing up because I watched the 90s Spider-Man cartoon religiously.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so much cooler than the Green Goblin was.
Yeah.
The Green Goblin on a show was just kind of corny, but this dude was like so over the top, and Mark Hamill voiced him. It was great.
You don't like the Spider-Man 3 version, the movie version?
No, I do not like the James Franco Sex Pest edition.
Where he's like flying on the snowboard.
No, but that was far from my biggest problem with that movie. So yeah, no, the Sex Pest edition is not okay. I've always been partial to. I was at the exact right age at the time, obviously, of Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin.
Mm-hmm.
Just incredible, and No Way Home reinforced that. Him and Alfred Molina absolutely crushed those roles.
Yeah.
Alfred Molina he's the definitive Doc Ock as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, it's a really generic answer. I got to go with either Dr. Octopus or Green Goblin.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them could be considered Spidey's arch nemesis for different reasons.
Yeah.
Dr. Octopus is every bit as smart as Peter Parker. And it's probably he's definitely the smartest villain, I think, that Peter faces.
Oh, yeah.
Green Goblin, though, I mean, because the personas change between either it's Norman or Harry, so it's always someone that's super important in Peter's life.
Yeah.
I love Superior Spider-Man so much. It's such a great comic run. Dr. Octopus gets put into Peter's body. So great.
Oh, geez.
Oh, it's so great. Right now, right now there's another in the regular Spider-Man comic. The Green Goblin persona has taken over Peter Parker, and Norman is the hero trying to save Peter.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Yeah,
it's so weird. I'm not okay with it. The cover art freaked me out.
Huh.
But yeah, Green Goblin and Doc Ock over here.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Spider-Man 2's Doc Ock is like the best. I think he's the best villain in any of these movies. I think. I was also I actually really liked Michael Keaton's Vulture.
Oh my god, yeah! If we're gonna keep it to the movies, Vulture has to be up there with those two.
Yeah,
it's like the villains are either really really good or they suck.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, my only real reference is the movies.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, those Tobey Maguire villains are just iconic. The first two, at least. Sandman, meh.
Well, I mean,
Venom
is iconic for different reasons.
Yeah. I feel like Venom is such a cop-out answer at this point.
It is.
So
it is. I don't like Venom. I don't particularly care for Carnage.
Yeah.
I've never really liked the symbiote characters at all.
You mean symbiote?
Symbiote, whatever.
No, remember when the the Venom movies were coming out and they had to re-record those lines where they said symbiote to symbiote?
Unbelievable. Dabmaster 5000 writes in and says they had a couple questions here, and kind of some bullet point ones, and I'm going to go through these real quick. A review over the Wishender hot swap would be cool, and a drip check of random Guardians. So we do fashion contests pretty regularly in the Discord. We haven't done one in a while. Maybe we'll do one here. I'll talk to Nerd about maybe
we should do a Halloween one. Yeah,
I'm going to talk to him about setting one up for your spookiest fit. And I'll contribute the prize this time around. I'll do $10 worth of silver as usual. But that's usually a good way to get some drip checks on our Guardians. We do have over there in the contest channel. You can see some of the past ones that we've done. And
Josh, I have a ridiculous old man question for you.
Hit me.
How did the term drip come to be like about clothing in your outfit?
People who were younger than us and cooler than us came up with it.
It's fair.
I'm going to allow it.
I need you youngsters to explain this to me.
You young whippersnappers. Yeah, me, Corey, Ronnie, Aaron, we'll all gather around in our wheelchairs and you can explain it to us.
Yeah.
And it is also worth noting we do have a Fashion Sense channel also where you guys can share your drips. So it's a little hard to do on the pod to critique Guardian fashion. As for the Wishender hot swap, we will tackle that probably in the next couple weeks. I'm going to talk to Joe and see if I can maybe get Joe on here. Joe uses Wishender a lot more regularly than Corey or I do. Mm-hmm. I want him to explain to me exactly. I know why it's good, but I want him to explain to us exactly how Wishender became as good as it is.
Yeah.
And with us having a slow couple of weeks, we're going to have him on to do that. Info on Eris would be nice. I didn't do the story missions this season, and I probably won't. Dab, I gotta encourage you to go do the story missions for this season, even if it's just those first couple and then the final one. I really got to encourage you to do those. They're really, really good. The dialogue that Eris has in the Anathium and in her interactions with Ikora, and as we discussed last week with Savathun and even with Drifter, there's some really, really good stuff there. I would really encourage you to go play it. We have broken down some of the story over the last few weeks. I will dive a little bit deeper into the lore pages we've gotten out of both lore books. Starting next week, we'll just do a pretty big emphasis on the lore corner for a few weeks. I want to read some of them because these are two of the best seasonal books we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Both of them are so good, which means I'm going to be killing myself to try and finish the minor arcanas this week. I have 4 remaining. Somebody sent me a chart that I need to reference to figure out which ones I'm missing.
A chart.
Yes, I'm missing 4 because I'm still missing a few pages of that stupid book. But I want to get that done so that I can read them because there's some great musings from Savathun and Xivu Arath in that particular book. And the other book, it's, as we discussed earlier, it's the perspectives of kind of everybody around this mission that we're all undertaking this season, including the very critical one we read last week between Ikora, Eris, Savathun, and Maru and the Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
We'll read the Saint 14 one at some point. We've got one we got to read about Elsie. Imaru has 2 from his perspective. So there's a lot going on there. We've talked a lot about Eris over the years. Maybe we'll do an Eris refresher at some point. Maybe towards the end of this season, we'll do a big Eris refresher. I really want to see if there's going to be anything else that they do regarding the seasonal storyline. Like, oh, maybe like was there like a Faustian bargain that we didn't know about?
Yeah.
Regarding Eris. If not, we'll definitely tackle some Eris lore towards the end of the season for you.
Eris lore.
Joasis asks us, put together your raid team using Marvel heroes.
Oh, God.
Now, we have to... I will say it specifies it's got to be heroes.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let anti-heroes count, too.
Who would be an anti-hero? Like
Taskmaster, for example, who's my first pick.
Taskmaster. Okay.
I'm going Taskmaster. Not always a villain, definitely not always a hero. Has worked with the heroes. I'm going Taskmaster. My number 1 pick. You gotta have a hunter on the team.
Yeah.
You gotta have a hunter.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Man, I'm trying to think strategically here. I'm gonna go with Captain America as a bubble titan. Seems like a defensive style thing just because he has a shield. I don't know.
That's fair. I mean, we do call it the Captain America shield. Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Thor, the God of Lightning.
Ooh.
I mean, you can't pass up Thor. He's got the Thunder Crash on lock. He's got the AoE attacks. I feel like he's like the perfect raid leader to rally around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna go Wolverine.
Wolverine, okay. You got the healing factor there.
You do. You have the
close quarters combat.
Yeah, he's like a bruiser, close up.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna go there.
I'm gonna go with another close quarter. I was gonna go with another close quarters fighter. But I feel like I got to go with something long range here. I'm gonna go Clint Barton. Ooh. Give me Hawkeye.
Man, he was on my
list. I need a sniper.
I was gonna pick him next. Dang.
I need a sniper. I need someone who I know will be a Night Stalker hunter. He can get those reses. He's gonna be wearing the either the Omnioculus or he's gonna be wearing the oh my god, I'm completely blanking on it. The other chess piece that we love so fucking much. Oh my god, I'm completely blanking now. I feel really bad. It'll come to me eventually. But yeah, that's who I'm going with.
Well, since you took Hawkeye, I'm going to take Kate Bishop.
Okay, that's fine. Haley Steinfeld would distract my team.
Well, yeah.
Jeremy Renner got his legs crushed. He's the real Avenger. He's the strongest Avenger. Is that too morbid?
Maybe. It's fine though.
Gear Falcons. Gear Falcons is the chess piece I was thinking of. For number 4, All right, I'm feeling like I gotta get some warlocks in here. I'm going Doctor Strange.
Damn it, he was my next pick.
I'm going Doctor Strange here. Stephen Strange. I need Stephen Strange.
Yeah.
I need him. He can play any of the classes. He's an expert. I really feel like he's going to be good for popping that well, though. You know that he's going to be tanking on the DPS. He's going to bring the divinity along. We're good.
Yeah. Man, that's a good one. I feel like I need some warlocks. I feel like I need some magic in there. Damn it, Josh. You took that pick. Damn it. I'm going to go with Scarlet Witch, I think.
Okay. That's a choice.
It is. I need some magic in there.
It's true. You do need some magic. Can you control that magic is the question.
Doesn't matter. Dude, I played with some warlocks that can't control themselves, so.
That's true. It's true. Also, some warlocks who just like to jump in front of other people.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to continue the warlock train. I need another warlock here.
Okay.
And it's going to be an anti-hero.
Ooh.
Okay, because I'm kind of iffy on the magic users. And if I'm going to bring in a magic user, I might need somebody with slightly questionable morals, but who knows more about the magical plane than the rest of us. I'm doing it.
Do it.
I'm bringing him in off the bench.
Do it.
He's Marvel's greatest villain, but he's only a villain because he wants the world to praise him, basically. I'm kidding. He's done a lot of horrible shit, but he's done a lot of good shit at the same time. Dr. Victor Von Doom is being called in off the bench.
Dr. Doom.
Victor Von Doom is being called in. Him and Stephen Strange together, unstoppable team. As we saw in Secret Wars, the ultimate undoing of Dr. Doom is the fact that Stephen Strange betrays him. Sheriff Strange betrays him. There we go. I'm up to 5, Corey.
You are up to 5. I'm trying to think here, Josh. Trying to think. I think I'm going to who would make a cool. I think I'm going to go Storm.
Okay. You got some good AoE attacks in there.
Yeah.
Get some elemental damage going.
Yeah.
Probably get some elemental buffs.
Probably. Yes. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, final one. This is hard.
Yeah, this
is hard. I feel like I need another. I feel like I've got 2 of each except for Titans. I need another Titan.
You do need another Titan.
I need another Titan. Who
to pick?
Well, I mean, so I'm between a couple of characters right now, trying to decide.
Let's see. I'm trying to figure out my last one. And hope you don't pick my last one.
I mean, I have a feeling I'm going to because it's. You know what? I'm actually going to choose something that I don't think anybody is expecting. I'm going to go with the Sentry.
I know who you're. Wait.
I'm going with Sentry. The hero, the Sentry. I'm going with him. I want my equivalent of somebody who is as powerful as Superman on this team. He can come in with those fists of havoc. He can swing the big hammer. He can fly. I need Sentry. I feel like he fits good on this team. He's mobile. He's a mobile Titan. He's got the floating pants on. We're good. Yeah. We're good. And I would love to see a flying Titan with a cape using Blade Fury and Banner of War. That'd be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I feel like I know who you're choosing for your last one.
I don't know if you do. Hit me. Who would you think my last one would be, Josh?
Well, I mean, the Hulk is still on the board.
Yeah, but I've already got 2 Titans.
Iron Man is still on the board.
I know. Yeah.
Spider-Man is on the board.
Yeah. Let's see. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with Iron Man. I need someone who has some decent, up close and aggressive. I need some ranged things. So Iron Man seems like a good one.
Who wins the power struggle between him and Captain America, though? You've got quite the subplot on your team.
I do.
You've got them. You've got Wanda hanging out.
I got some distractions. I got Wolverine who doesn't care.
Bub.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Alrighty.
Oh, I should have picked a Punisher. Nah, oh well.
Oh, I fucking hate the Punisher. Airmail Attic writes in and goes, can you give us a prediction or an opinion on the new post-Final Shape content delivery model and how it'll stack up to the current model? Context. I love the story content, but I'm sick of the current delivery model. It's very methodical and built to force engagement with seasonal activities. I get that. I'm just kind of over with being drip-fed progress over 6 weeks to have the climax and a 30-second cutscene that I'm a bystander in. Feels really worn out. I could not agree more. I think that's been the number one complaint over the past couple of years, especially since we started getting much more in-depth with the story content. I would say around Haunted.
Mm-hmm.
I think until Haunted it worked, and then Haunted there was so much story interaction every week that it got to a point of, oh, we can't go back anymore, and the next season immediately went back to it.
Yeah.
And we've kind of like seesawed since then, like, okay, that season was bad, but Seraph was good. Defiance was bad. Deep was a little bit better. This has been a little bit better. But again, we've only had like 2 or 3 weeks in each of these couple of seasons, with the exception of Seraph, that have been like actually pushing the story forward. I'm cautiously optimistic about episodes. It feels like it's kind of a good medium between seasons and expansions.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like it's going to be like 3 mini expansions in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I still think the story is going to be chunked up, though, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but I think
the story is my concern.
I think you're going to get like a 4 mission chunk every 3 weeks, or a 3 mission chunk every 3 weeks.
Every 6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, every 6 weeks is how content's going to be delivered. Yeah, I would say like maybe like a Rise of Iron length campaign, like four real missions, and like maybe an Exogda mission or a strike.
Yeah, that's
to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling in terms of the story delivery.
And I feel weird saying this, but I kind of feel like you have to drop that at the beginning of the episode also.
Oh, yeah.
You have to drop it all at once. You can't. I think we're all over being drip fed. And the reality is there's too many games now. Like, it was great when we didn't have a lot of games to play during the COVID years. And when they finally figured out seasons, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. We were really starved for content. But this year, it's kind of a testament to, I think, Deep and Witch have been much stronger narratively.
Yeah.
Than Plunder was last year, or how Defiance was earlier this year. But there's so much high quality stuff right now. It's impossible to try and keep up with ongoing games, to keep up with AAA games that are coming out, other multiplayer titles are releasing, movies, shows, podcasts. Like, there's just so much quality content out there now.
Yeah.
And I think people are always going to go for the new, fresh experience over something that they've gotten into a rut with.
Yeah.
So I think episodes is Destiny's way of trying to change that experience up. And like, hey, it needs to cater to those who want to play some and then dip out.
Yeah.
But like, have enough depth there to where the people who like this is their main game have enough to grind out.
Right.
And the first step for that is, I think, making the story content available the first day, the entire storyline, with the risk of it being spoiled for people, and making it to where episodes aren't taken out of the game. This content cannot go away.
Yeah.
This needs to stay in beyond the year.
Yeah.
So, and that's something we've been beating the drum about with seasons like forever.
Yeah.
Airmail also writes in with another question. How do you balance a desire for Trials loot with the toxicity of the player base? I got no less than 5 hate messages each of the last 2 weeks.
Stop being good. I suck. I don't get any messages, so.
Yeah. So I first off, I feel like the hate mail is a lot more prevalent if you play on PC.
Yeah.
Because you got the chat box there. I've gotten some on console, but I think don't be good at it.
Yeah.
Be like aggressively average. In all seriousness though,
my life.
I think it's just kind of a problem that's plaguing any sort of competitive shooter at this point.
Yeah.
You're always going to get those people. Like, I always bring up this comparison, like, the hate mail doesn't bother me as much. Like, even though it is toxic, like, when I see it, it doesn't bother me. It makes me laugh a little. Like, I was forged in the fires of Halo and Call of Duty lobbies on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Like, That was my teenage years. I have heard every insult you can possibly there are no less than like 500-600 people out there who have claimed to have slept with my mom at this point. Okay. Like it is truly unfathomable how many people have said that. I have heard more racial slurs than you can imagine in those lobbies. Like it just gets to a point where it's like, if it's getting to be too much, I would personally lock down my profile and lock down like who can send me messages, who can send me direct messages and whatnot.
That feature's not available on consoles, is it?
It is on console. Yeah, it is.
What, turning DMs off from people you don't know?
Yeah, mine are automatically muted and go into a separate folder.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
If it's people that I'm not directly friends with on Xbox, it just does that.
Huh.
So
interesting.
I don't let it phase. I try not to let it phase me, honestly. I remind myself that like you said, like the desire for the loot is there. I'm there to get the loot and get out. But I understand like not everybody is built the same way, and it truly is frustrating. It can be a really frustrating experience, especially if like people are holding you accountable or you're getting taunted by the other team. Like it sucks, but unfortunately that is like internet culture right now.
Yeah.
It's all about owning the other team, like we see it in every single facet. We see it in sports, we see it in games, we see it in, politics. Like it's all about owning other people.
Yeah.
It's just really fucking stupid. It's a bunch of people who never stop being 14.
Yeah.
So, Classic Mark actually replied to that one and said, I message those people and ask for constructive feedback on how to improve my skill. Most of the time they're jerks, but sometimes someone will give you some good tips. The asshats are just being mean. To be mean, do not deserve a good teammate. Could not have said it better myself, Mark. Could not have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Mark writes in with a question for us. I want to know what you think we'll be doing next season. We still don't know how to get into the Traveler. Zivu is weak, but still out there. Do you think the last season will get us as hype as Season of the Seraph did for Lightfall? Yes. I'm staking my reputation. I'm staking my reputation on hyping things up. I absolutely think the next season's going to deliver.
Yes.
I really hope it does. I really sincerely hope that it does, because I think this has been overall a pretty like lackluster year of seasons. I've enjoyed the story and I really enjoyed like the mechanics in each season, but it's like we just talked about in the answer to Airmail, like it's so spread out that it does lose its impact over time.
Yeah.
And even over the course of the season, but at the same time, it's never been easier for me to dip in and out of seasons.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that aspect of it. I really think next season we're going back to the Dreaming City. I think it's going to be a combination of the Dreaming City and dealing with Aramis.
Yeah.
I do think Aramis is a plot line that is resolved at least most of the way before the final shape. We've seen that she's not like super on board with the Witness. She's only aligned with him because she thinks that's the only way that Reese can truly be reborn. She doesn't understand like that he's trying to end everything.
Right.
I don't know if this ends with Aramis coming to the House of Light or what, but either way, I do feel that going forward post Final Shape, with the exception of the content that's already in the game, I don't think we'll be fighting Elixir anymore. I think it's why there's been such a huge focus on the Scorn.
Yeah.
And I would say we're going to break the curse of the Dreaming City. The final major Arcana card is called the Wish.
Yeah.
The Ahamkara egg is still out there. So I really do think, I really hope it's not that simple for us to get to the Traveler. Oh, we wish to be able to go through the portal. Like, that's really fucking stupid. If it happens like that, I'm like, my eyes might actually just permanently be rolled into the back of my head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding out hope that we get some really, really, really well delivered story here, because the lore has been phenomenal. The lore has been phenomenal. I think that the evolution of Sloane's relationship with Asa last season was really cool. Eris's transformation this season, obviously, really well done to me. Just, it's too spread out. It's too little some weeks. I'd rather have a tight 4 or 5 week story than 8 or 9 weeks dragged out.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going. I'm holding hope that we're going to get a new special secret exotic mission next season. It seems like the third season is about what they typically skip for those.
Yeah.
And I think that's, at some point, things we're going to have to suffer because they're doing the playlist refresh for Final Shape. So I don't want to set expectations too high for content that'll be added next season, but I think the story content will at least hit.
Yeah.
I'm most curious about that dungeon though. I really feel like if we're gonna break the curse of the dungeon, if we're gonna break the curse, it might be in that dungeon. A true Dreaming City dungeon that's not just in the Ascendant Plane would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be kind of.
I'd really like that. I love the Awoken architecture.
Yeah, I like the color scheme too.
Yeah. You get any theories, Corey?
No, I'm kind of with you. I feel like they need to kind of wrap that up at some point. Like it'll either be this season or at the beginning of next season. Like the first thing you do the next season of the do the last like the the final wish. It would be kind of lame if they wished to go into the Traveler.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you really are stuck on trying to figure out, I guess, but also they have a writing team for a reason, and I'm sure they're much better writers than we are because we're sitting here doing a podcast and they're working at Bungie. So,
yeah.
So, I trust in Bungie to figure it out.
Jiggly Panda writes in, since I haven't heard either of you talk about Mortal Kombat, which Destiny character would fit inside the Mortal Kombat universe?
Oh, God.
Is this where I say I'm not a huge Mortal Kombat fan?
Yeah, I'm not really either.
Mortal Kombat's like really like the violence is just like gratuitous and too over the top for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think Oryx would be cool in there, but
Oryx would be, I feel like any of the Hive Gods would fit really well.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going Guardians, then it would probably have to be like Shax or Saladin. Maybe Saint.
Yeah.
Drifter.
Oh, God, Drifter.
Drifter, I feel, would be pretty brutal also.
Yeah.
But it's got to be like Dark Age Drifter, I think.
Yeah.
Not Jermaine.
Yeah. I actually think Saint 14 would be pretty cool, too.
I mean, after the lore page this week where he keeps bringing Savathun back and killing her repeatedly, I feel like he'd be a contender for that universe.
Yeah. Remember, side tangent, remember when you could buy Saint 14 and Shax's armor in Assassin's Creed?
Oh, God.
That was cool,
I unfortunately do remember that. Remember you get the Gallarhorn sword in it?
Yeah.
God.
Sword. Give me a break.
And Jiggly Panda also asks, what were your thoughts on Ahsoka? Corey, you're the only one of us who's watched this.
Yeah, so I never watched any of like the animated Star Wars stuff.
Okay.
So I might have a different perspective on this than people who are like big Clone Wars and Rebels fans. I really like it. I kind of really like Ahsoka as a character, and I like seeing some of the things that they do in the show. I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't watched it, but I really like it. I think it might be one of my favorite of the Star Wars shows that they've done, behind Andor and maybe The Mandalorian season 1. Like, I really like it. I know people have a problem with it because of like, obviously Clone Wars and Rebels were like really big for people, and
Ashley Eckstein not being back either.
Yeah. But I think Rosario Dawson does a really good job with the character. I understand what's going on without watching 17 seasons of an animated show. I know people were like, you have to watch them. I'm like, no, I know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm going to offer a fairly, I don't know if it's controversial, but I don't care about Ahsoka at all, about the character.
That's fair. I mean, I feel like
I've explained my philosophy on this. I don't remember if it was on this show or another one, where when I was growing up, the Clone Wars were one thing. We had this entire multimedia project around Clone Wars. We had like 3 video games. We had like, no joke, like 20 novels, including one that was all about Mace Windu and his past.
Yeah, well, you got to make up for that crappy movie. Really
awesome. And well, the movie, here's the kicker: the movie wasn't out.
No, I'm saying Attack of the Clones. I'm not saying the Clone Wars movie.
But we had the awesome 2-season 2D animated show from Samurai Jack's creator, from Genndy Tartakovsky. That was awesome. Like, and then all that was just wiped because Anakin Skywalker apparently had an apprentice this whole time.
Yeah.
Which, to the kid who grew up watching Attack of the Clones, had 3 years of nothing but Clone Wars content, and then Revenge of the Sith. It does not fit with the Revenge of the Sith movie that Anakin had an apprentice that he does not question about once.
Yeah.
In the whole movie.
Yeah.
Does not question it once.
Yeah.
George, you went back and kept editing other things. You edited Hayden into Return of the Jedi, and you couldn't like give us some throwaway lines about Ahsoka Tano.
Right.
It's irresponsible. I'm basically not watching it out of principle because Ahsoka is a wildly annoying character to me in the Clone Wars. The exception I make is I think the Battle of Mandalore is really awesome, and her and Rex fighting their way out of the Star Destroyer at the very end is really, really, really cool. Like that is like peak Star Wars. Like Darth Maul should have been dead like 20 different times, and he's still somehow alive, and it's really annoying
with his like robot spider feet.
Yes. Fun fact, I met Sam Witwer once and I tried to ask him about Star Wars, and apparently it was like literally the weekend before they were announcing that he was coming back as Darth Maul for Rebels.
Oh god.
And he got so offended that I asked him about Star Wars. Like he straight up only wanted to talk about this indie movie that he had been in.
Yeah.
Which was like a complete flop because I had never heard of it and I've never been able to find the movie since.
Yeah.
He was like super offended with 21-year-old Josh asking questions about Star Wars. I was trying to talk about The Force Unleashed, and he got really offended over it. So,
man, the first Force Unleashed movie or game, love that game. I love the first one.
That was where my problems with Force powers started to arise. So I don't know if I can abide with that take. But the point is, I don't like Ahsoka as a character, so I have not watched the show. I'm putting it off as long as possible. But I also didn't like Cassian Andor as a character, and the show kicked ass. Yeah, so
that show was
I will watch Ahsoka at some point because my boy Grand Admiral Thrawn is in it.
Yeah,
that beautiful blue bastard is in this show.
Yeah.
And I need to see it. I grew up on the Timothy Zahn books, so the OG Grand Admiral Thrawn was awesome. Like the Thrawn trilogy was literally the heroes of the original movies, with Mara Jade facing off against Grand Admiral Thrawn, Luke with 2 U's in his name.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so there was an evil clone of Luke Skywalker that was cloned by this insane Jedi that lived through the Clone Wars, Jorah Sabath. He had turned to the dark side and was like working for the Emperor or something because he'd gone mad and had cloned Luke Skywalker from his hand that was cut off at Cloud City.
Right, I forgot about that.
So Luke had to fight his clone, who was differentiated in the text as Luke. With 2 U's. Him and Mara Jade had to duel this guy, and he's using Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber while he's doing it.
That's really cool, actually.
That was really fucking cool. Jorah Sabath is like calling down Force lightning, and they found a Star Destroyer that was filled with clone troopers from the Clone Wars, and at the time we didn't know that they were, all Jango Fett clones, and so they're like, oh my god, it's a whole army from the Clone Wars. We have to stop Thrawn. He's trying to resurrect the clones.
Yeah.
Well, this is why half this stuff that doesn't exist in canon anymore. But in the 90s, that shit was awesome.
Yeah.
I was shopping in the adult section at 8.
I don't want to spoil the show, but they do address that in the show.
If Luke shows up in the movie, I'm going to be so happy. I am like one of 5 people on planet Earth who want to see this. Talon Karad was in these books. Oh my god. So many of the great EU characters that we ever had were introduced in that series, and it bothers me that we now have Grand Admiral Thrawn on screen with the Rebels characters. No Luke Skywalker, no Leia, no his bodyguards are not there.
Yeah.
Grand Admiral Peelkin is not here.
Yeah.
Like, where are these people? Mara Jade where is Mara Jade? You're doing Thrawn without Mara Jade.
Yeah. I think there is a standing character for Mara Jade in this show, though, to be honest with you.
If it's fucking Sabine, get out.
It's not.
Get out.
It's not.
Get out!
No, it's not. I'm not going to say who it is, but it's not. That's apparently some of the rumors going around, at least.
I'm so frustrated with so much of this show. Just from, like, what I know of. Anyways, I will watch it eventually, and I will give a verdict. It probably won't be until, like, Christmas, but I will watch it eventually.
Yeah, honestly,
I'm very upset. If you can't tell, I'm very upset that this is how Grand Admiral Thrawn is being introduced to the masses.
I feel like with everything you've just said, I don't think you're gonna like the show.
I'm not going to.
I definitely feel like this show is made for people who only want to watch the movies, and they are like, "Well, this is kind of like a movie on Disney Plus, so I'll watch it."
Oh no,
that's kind of what I feel like, and I think that's why I like it.
Tiger Jesus writes in, what's something from the final shape you wish we got early? Episodes.
Yeah.
Episodes. I'm tired of seasons. Give me the episodes, baby.
I wonder if they had planned maybe to do that make the change, but they thought maybe the final shape would be a good point to kick that off to try to draw new players in, or to like, because that's literally the end, and this would be like a new fresh start almost.
Yeah, they really got to get rid of these old consoles.
I know.
Titan writes in, if you could bring over one exotic armor or exotic weapon from D1 to D2, what would it be, and how would you rework it for the D2 sandbox? I'm not bringing anything else over.
Twilight Garrison.
That's my choice. Get the fuck out.
I'm only saying that to piss people off.
Genuinely, I would not bring anything else.
Yeah,
over.
I've been done with the old stuff for like 2 years, to be honest with you. Like, yeah. I want new stuff, right? And that's kind of what we talk about in games in general, is that like now granted, a lot of the remakes are great and some of the remasters probably needed it, but like there's just stuff out there that like, why are you remaking this? Right.
Like it was a good choice to bring Necrochasm in as the exotic here instead of No Land Beyond, for example.
Yeah.
Like sometimes not adhering to what was in Destiny 1 is a good idea. Mm-hmm. We've kind of sucked the well dry at this point for like stuff I want to see in here. I don't want to see Icebreaker. I mean, I can say that I want to see something, but I know I would never use it, for example.
Yeah.
There's just I'm going to be honest, I haven't played D1 in years. Like I truly don't remember a lot of the stuff that hasn't been brought. My exotic, I want my exotic cloaks. I want my exotic class items. Yeah. There's your answer.
Yeah.
Exotic class items.
Yeah. That's
all I want. Even though they add no benefit whatsoever, I want exotic class items.
Yeah, I don't even know what hasn't made it over yet.
There's plenty of stuff. I mean, they're still bringing a couple in the final shape, but I really do hope that the final shape is that and the anniversary pack that we're inevitably going to get. Yeah. I hope that's it. I want the final thing they bring over to be No Land Beyond.
Yeah,
just because it's a gigantic meme. The thing that everybody wants is Icebreaker, and Icebreaker fundamentally cannot work in Destiny 2. It will not be Icebreaker if you make changes to it.
Yeah.
So, no. I genuinely, like, it's a boring answer. I would not bring anything else over. I'm done. They gave me my wildest dream. I always said they would never bring Galley, and then they brought Galley. That was the moment that I knew that we were probably approaching the end of D1 content in D2.
Yeah.
As far as like weapons and armor go, because that's the most iconic weapon in the series. I thought we would get it at the end of the story arc. I didn't think they would give it to us then.
Yeah.
For me, that would be the signal that we were wrapping up on Destiny 2 is if we got Gallarhorn.
Yeah. I think the only thing would be Young Wolf's Howl you could bring over at some point, but
yeah.
I mean, I feel like that would be part of an anniversary.
I would like that just for story purposes.
Yeah. I think that
even if we couldn't use it, I'd love to see that hanging in a theoretical Guardian apartment.
Yeah,
as like a trophy. Like, oh, you played through this in D1. Here, we're gonna give this to you in D2.
Yeah, I also think that would be an interesting, just exotic, like a nod if they ever bring Wrath of the Machine over.
That could be a really fun quest to have to go back to Fellwinter's Peak to retrieve the Young Wolf's Howl. That could be a really cool little quest.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'd ever get it, but that could be cool. Like maybe set a dungeon at Fellwinter's Peak.
Like maybe like inside that temple, there's like a back door that opens into a dungeon.
That could be really cool.
Yeah.
Like how did Saladin not know about this? Or like it's like a proving right for the Iron Lords or something.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Actually,
it's just a whole bunch of fucking cabal that he's been starving without extra rations for like 2 years.
Oh, Jesus.
Saint writes in, what is a moment you were absolutely terrified in Destiny?
Terrified in Destiny?
The first time that I encountered Trevor.
Oh, God. Yeah, Trevor was fucking awful. God, dude, I can't. Dude, the first time that happened, I just gave up because I couldn't figure out how to get around him.
My serious answer though is in D1 when you're playing the Taken King campaign and you go to Crota's funeral, You infiltrate Crota's funeral, and then Oryx detects that you're there, and you have to run backwards through the Crota's End raid to escape.
Oh yeah, dude, that was yeah. I agree. I actually agree with that.
That's cool. And Shadowkeep has a similar mission where when you steal the cryptoglyph, and it just says on the screen "run."
Mm-hmm.
Any mission like that is always like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Those are cool moments for me.
Yeah.
Maybe seeing Oryx at full size for the first time.
Yeah. That moment though is still like a top moment for me though. Like when you enter that chamber and like after you defeat the sisters, right, and you run up to the glow.
You go up to Toland.
Yeah. Yeah, you go up to Toland and then you just see Oryx climb up. I'm like, holy shit, run away. Oh, that's a good time.
And then what is the let's fucking go moment?
Oh, man. Also, the when you have to fight Oryx. Man, I guess. Man, I don't know, man. I thought the Savathun fight in the Witch Queen was pretty cool. Like when we get there and you see her, and then she like kind of splits into three at one point, and you gotta,
I think beating the shit out of Rolk is like for me. That's like probably the like ultimate let's fucking go moment.
Yeah, that was cool.
When it's ticket, you got the 10 seconds to final stand him.
Yeah.
That for me, that's the one. That's because he's like he hasn't even used a fraction of his power, and then as he's about to die, he realizes, oh shit, these guys actually can kill me. I have to wipe them right now, and it's his hubris that defeated him ultimately. That's my let's fucking go moment because like the first time you get there, you're like, oh my god, why is the screen's getting dark? Oh my god, he's gonna wipe us.
Yeah.
Like
no,
you have 10 seconds to deal all that damage.
Right. That moment was super cool. I wish Nezarec would have been that because I think that would have been really cool because you've been hearing about Nezarec for such a long time. But like that, I feel like Root of Nightmares is like an extremely easy raid.
It is. It's probably the easiest raid in the game.
Yeah, to the point where like when you get to Nezarec, it's just like, oh, another boss. Let's fight it and get the chest and get out of here.
The other one that I will offer up is I feel like the first truly hype moment in the Destiny series is when you get the flavor text while fighting Atheon. Guardians make their own fate.
Yeah.
That is a let's fucking go moment.
Yeah.
If there ever was one.
Yeah.
I love that moment. And God, I had one more I was going to offer up.
Skolas.
No. My experience with Skolas was running in a circle for 30 minutes. Having my partners take pot shots at him while I was I didn't even have a dodge. It was in Destiny 1 while I was sprinting away. God, I had one more and I truly can't remember what it was. And it's really bothering me now. My other let's fucking go moment. I feel like it was part of a raid. Anyways, it can't be that important if I can't remember it.
Yeah.
Saint also asks, is Harry Potter more of a Christmas movie or Halloween?
Harry Potter?
Yeah, dude. Oh, because they always have Christmas scenes in them, so a lot of people take them as Christmas movies. ABC Family like spams those movies.
Yeah.
During Christmas.
I mean, I never thought of it as a Halloween movie.
I've never thought of it as either, personally.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can say it's a Christmas movie, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's like Wizards and Witches I would associate more with Halloween, though. I think especially like they get darker and darker as the series goes on. So I would I would argue Halloween personally.
Yeah.
Although there's only ever one scene set on Halloween, ironically.
Yeah. Also, remember, Harry gets the cool sweater from the Weasleys. So they all match.
Harry's a fucking loser. So are the Weasleys.
It's all about Hermione, everybody. And Hagrid.
It really is all about Hermione. I love Hermione. Our final questions come to us tonight from Zhao. Corey?
Yes.
This is a question for us. I will be in Disney World for the week of Halloween. I plan on going to Earl of Sandwich for the first time in honor of you guys.
Oh, boy.
What is the sandwich you would recommend?
You can't just have one sandwich, first of all. Okay.
Okay, we're giving him one sandwich. recommendation from each of us.
Man.
This is Corey's nightmare, is only being able to recommend one sandwich.
Dude, every time I sit down there, I get 3 sandwiches and wedges, okay? It's not a joke.
They don't do the wedges anymore.
And the last time I went, they had wedges.
The last time I went, they had tater tots. It was highly disappointing.
I don't like that. I mean, I like tater tots, but
the brownie bites are still there.
Yeah, brownie bites. Let's see. I gotta pull up a list of sandwiches because
our choices here, Corey. I have them pulled up.
The Hawaiian barbecue would be the one, but
God, the Hawaiian barbecue! God, I fucking hate Earl sandwich right now. I'm kidding. You guys, listen. I love you so much. Please give me sandwiches for life.
Please bring an Earl sandwich to Akron, Ohio, and I will be there every day.
They actually do have legit listened to the show and do follow us.
I know. It's so funny.
Our choices here are the Earl's Club. Always a good choice, by the way, but you can get a club anywhere.
Yeah.
You can get a club anywhere. The original, which is a roast beef, cheddar, and horseradish sandwich.
It's basically Arby's on steroids, if it was a real sandwich.
Yeah, it's Arby's, but better for you.
Yeah.
I'm a big Chipotle fan. Chicken avocado. Big fan of that one. I do like that one.
Huge fan of that one, to be honest.
Nobody's getting the tuna melt.
Yeah, who goes to Earl's?
Nobody's getting the caprese. Nobody's getting that. The Montague. Roast beef, turkey, Swiss, cheddar, lettuce, tomatoes, and the Earl's mustard sauce.
I like that one.
You like the holiday turkey?
No. Here's Josh. Here's a fun fact about me. I hate Thanksgiving food.
Wow. What are you, like, not American?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
Jeez.
I can't stand it.
How do you feel about Italians, Corey?
Depends.
Do you like the Italian sandwich?
It's okay. My wife really likes it.
Oh my God, the Italian sandwich is fucking great. You can't go wrong with it. Nobody's getting the veggie here.
Man. Also, not on this list that you should definitely try is the BLT.
The Nashville hot chicken sandwich.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. If it's a limited sandwich though. I don't know if it'll be there by the time I go there.
Well, we're not talking about Zhao is going in 2 weeks.
I know, but I want to try the Nashville hot chicken.
Well, we're talking about Zhao. We're giving him advice.
I don't care about Zhao right now. I'm looking at sandwiches.
I like Cubanos. The Cuban sandwich would probably be pretty good.
Yeah, I guess my personal recommendation would be the Chipotle chicken avocado. You can get it without avocado if you're not an avocado fan, but it is a fan favorite. It's probably my favorite sandwich on this menu right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with either the Cuban or God. I really want to recommend the Italian.
Then recommend the Italian.
I love Italian subs. I love Italian sandwiches. We have a great Italian deli in town that I've talked about before that I love going to. It's just like a half hour away. I have to go to that side of town tomorrow. I might go to Jimmy's Food Store for lunch. There is no better place than a place named after somebody's first name and food store. It sounds so sketchy. It looks a little sketchy on the outside. It is a full-blown Italian deli and market on the inside. It's phenomenal. Sketchy part of town, I'll do it for Jimmy.
Yeah. If you are a fan of roast beef, though, you have to get the original. I get an original every time I go there.
That's fair.
As one of my sandwiches. But also
get the brownie bites.
Yeah.
Get the brownie bites.
Yeah. Also, outside of Earl's sandwich, you have to get a Ronto wrap. Particularly the breakfast.
The breakfast. Yeah.
Over in,
the breakfast Ronto wrap. The breakfast Ronto wrap is an absolute essential at Hollywood Studios. Absolutely incredible. One of my all-time favorite eats. Stop by the bakery in Norway if you're going to Epcot. Literally anything is good there.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. You could go to Gideon's in Disney Springs, but usually you have to like order through the app and pick it up like 5 hours later.
Yeah, Gideon's is fucking wild. That is like the sweetest piece of cake I've ever had in my life. Yeah. There is no shortage of good pubs. We really like going to Raglan Roads for dinner. Because they do live music and Irish dancing. Yeah, which is really fun to go to and see. Little on the pricier side. Not sure what the budget is. Little on the pricier side, but it's a good meal. And listen, guys,
The hanger.
I gotta recommend the spicy waffle sandwich at the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, man.
The waffle was a little disappointing the last time I had it, but the chicken was phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they like some of the chicken is made to order, like, you know, 1 or 2 orders ahead, but like the waffles, they kind of just like make them and then stack them, right? So
not the Mickey ones though. The Mickey ones do taste distinctly different.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about the regular waffles there, though.
Yeah, but you can get a Mickey waffle there too. Is my point.
With the sandwich?
Not with the sandwich. Oh. If you want the sandwich, you can't get the Mickey waffle, but you can order a Mickey waffle by itself. The only other recommendation I absolutely 100% have to make to you is Dole Whip.
The original. Dole Whip. The original.
They have so many different options now. You can get a Dole Whip with rum.
Yeah, I know. They have the
also blue milk.
Oh yeah,
blue milk.
Yeah, the blue milk, not the green milk.
The green milk is fine,
no.
But the blue milk, baby, you can get that with a shot of tequila in it. That really wakes you up in the morning.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man.
In case you can't tell, I drank my way through Disney the last time I went.
That's what makes it so much fun.
Oga's is really good too. If you can get a reservation for Oga's, even as a walk-up, I would do it.
Yeah,
Oga's is fantastic.
If you want pizza though, you got to eat the Via Napoli in Italy at Epcot.
We went there for Chelsea's birthday this year.
It's really good.
It was a good meal. She got her and her friend Kim split pizza, and me and my buddy Josh each got we got chicken parmesan, and the piece of chicken was bigger than all of the pasta that they gave me. If you want any clue as to what size the portions were, it's great. You'll also be there during food and wine, so eat at like food stalls. Just like walk around. You'll find a lot of really great stuff. But we could sit here all day and give you Disney recommendations for food.
You know what? Last thought on that, Josh. The thing I have to do every time we go there, though, is get one of those shitty puffy pizzas from Pizza Rizzo.
Oh my God, I can't stand you.
Oh, I love those things, man.
I can't stand you.
Love it.
If you're looking for a place for breakfast, go to the boardwalk and go eat at one of their restaurants. You can get a really good breakfast there.
Yeah.
Chelsea got breakfast pizza.
Ooh.
When we went, because it's in their restaurant that has the Brickstone pizza ovens in the back. So like you're watching them make it while you're sitting at your table drinking your fresh French pressed coffee. It was great. We didn't have park tickets on our last day this last year, so we went and had brunch after we checked out of our hotel.
Nice.
It was nice. Now I feel like it's going to become a tradition. We loved it so much. We had that. We had breakfast tots.
Breakfast tots.
I got oh God, what I get? I got some kind of like waffle sandwich when I was there. It was great.
We're a big
waffle toast sandwich, one of the two.
We're a big fan of Cape May. Also, if you're looking for a buffet,
it's great.
It's a character breakfast buffet, but if you want some delicious breakfast buffet,
basically, Zhao, message one of us if you want food recommendations.
Yes,
we've been there enough times with our families.
Yeah.
Our final question also comes to us from Zhao. Jigsaw puts you in a trap.
Oh God.
The rules are simple. You can only play Gambit for 1 week. Nothing else. Do you survive? Is not playing Destiny for a week an option?
Sometimes.
Like that would be my loophole. I just wouldn't play Destiny for a week. But if that's the only game I can play, that's going to be a little rough.
Yeah.
I will say that. I might survive. I don't know, because it really depends on if my loophole works. Let's assume it doesn't work. No, I would not survive.
Yeah.
I haven't played Gambit in seasons.
Yeah.
I played a little bit a couple seasons ago and immediately remembered why I don't play Gambit anymore.
Yeah. Gambit. Jeez.
Gambit. What a mess.
Oh.
What a mess. Corey, I think that does it for our questions tonight.
Yeah, I think
it does it for our episode tonight.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
This turned into an unexpectedly long question episode.
Yeah. I thought this episode was going to be short, to be honest with you.
I did too. And then we had like 24 questions.
Nice. Are we doing lore corner tonight, or are we going to skip?
We're not. We're going straight to the end.
All right.
Straight to the end, because I did not sit down and take pictures of my television today. Next week, guys. I promise. I will have lore corner for the next several weeks.
Great. Start taking pictures of your TV now, Josh.
Pretty much.
I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of Tower Casuals. You can get this new episodes every Friday on your podcast service of choice and on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast, rate us, all that stuff. Josh, thank you for your time tonight, as always. Where can we find you?
Unfortunately, you can still find me on Twitter, Josh_Finn. I'm somehow still there.
Oh man. You can find me at IamCornHD on all the things as well. I'm trying to stay off of social media lately, but that's how it goes, I guess. So join the Discord. Everybody, thank you for watching and are listening. Until next time, we love you. Goodbye.